The damage is rarely in the blow. It is in the way you move afterward. Not the insult, not the delay, not the disrespect. Those things are only surface events. What truly exposes you is your reaction. You think reacting fast protects your position. Reality is colder. Every impulsive reaction is a full report on your internal structure. Every burst of anger maps your weak points. Every defensive sentence marks the places where you can be controlled. You believe you are protecting status. But something else happens. You are revealing exactly where you can be touched. Exactly where you can be shaken. Exactly where you can be led. And power begins leaving you in that exact moment. Because the moment your emotions become predictable, you become predictable. And anything predictable is easy to control. Look closely at how many people live today, not in control, but in reaction. One small criticism can tilt their entire mood. A single message can ruin their morning. A delayed response creates hours of speculation. An unexpected tone creates inner turbulence. So, the nervous system stays on alert, scanning constantly, interpreting everything, over-processing signals that were never meant to carry such weight. And slowly fatigue appears. A quiet exhaustion, not from labor, from emotional turbulence. We think we are tired because of work, but often we are tired because we are constantly reacting. Reacting to tone, reacting to mood, reacting to perception, reacting to interpretation. One sentence changes the climate inside you. One look reshapes your entire day. One moment of disrespect makes you abandon your clarity. That is the cost of reactivity. You are handing over the keys to your inner world to anyone who knows which ego button to press. That is a prison. Not made of walls, not made of iron. It is built from unconscious reaction. To understand reactivity, you must understand the brain. Your nervous system is ancient. It was built for a world that no longer exists. Thousands of years ago, humans lived in tribes. Small groups, 40 people, 50 at most. In those environments, rejection was catastrophic. If the tribe rejected you, you lost protection. You lost food. You lost safety. Isolation meant death. So evolution installed a brutal reflex. Detect threat immediately. React immediately. Signal strength. Correct status quickly. That reflex kept our ancestors alive. But now the environment has changed. Rejection does not mean death. It means discomfort. A comment. A criticism. An opinion. But your nervous system still hears the ancient alarm. So when someone challenges you, your body reacts as if survival is threatened. Heart rate rises. Emotion spikes. The urge to respond arrives instantly. You want relief. Immediate relief. And reaction provides that relief. For a moment, pressure disappears. But relief is expensive. You traded sovereignty for temporary comfort. That is the trap. When reaction becomes habit, your emotional system is no longer yours. Anyone who knows the trigger can pull the string, and the puppet moves. Marcus Aurelius understood this deeply. He ruled an empire in one of its darkest centuries. War on the frontiers, plague in the cities, political betrayal everywhere. Yet his writings rarely mention offense. He did not live in reaction. He lived in observation. Marcus studied his own mind as if it were a battlefield. And he discovered something the modern world forgets. Dignity is disciplined stillness. Authority does not erupt. Authority does not panic. Authority does not chase every disturbance. It remains upright. A person with inner weight does not react to every external movement, because they understand where real strength lives. Not in eruption, not in retaliation, but in the inability to be shaken. A king rules an empire, not by winning every argument, but by governing the storms within himself. Stoicism draws a clear boundary. On one side is what you control. On the other is what you do not. You do not control the behavior of others. You do not control their tone, their instability, their provocations, their interpretation. But you control something far more important: the frame. The frame is the psychological space in which events occur. Who defines the rhythm? Who sets the emotional climate? Who decides what matters? When you react instantly, you enter the other person's frame. You begin operating on their timeline, their emotional tempo, their urgency. And from that moment forward, you are no longer leading. You are responding. Anger makes you predictable. Ego makes you suggestible. Defensiveness makes you reactive. Anything reactive is easy to manipulate. That is why Stoic detachment is not numbness. It is strategic control. It is the ability to hold your center even when someone else is trying to move it. When you pause before reacting, you reclaim the frame. You step outside the emotional trap. You become the observer, the keeper of rhythm, the chooser of timing, the one who decides what deserves attention. That is sovereignty. Imagine an ancient stone at the base of a lighthouse. Amber dusk hangs over the ocean. The sky is heavy. The wind lashes sideways. Waves rise like accusations against the shore. The ocean throws its full weight against the rock. Again and again. But the stone does not argue with the sea. It does not explain itself to the wind. It does not become angry because the storm exists. It simply remains, still, heavy, unmoved. The sea may roar, but it is the ocean that breaks apart when it strikes what does not move. Consistency creates gravity. Ships navigate not by noise, but by stability. Become like that stone, not loud, not reactive, not defensive, simply present, and therefore impossible to manipulate. You do not need more inspiration. You need principles. 3 operating rules. 1. Strategic indifference. Not every stimulus deserves your response. Not every insult deserves your breath. Some attacks survive only because you keep feeding them with attention. Remove attention, and the fire dies. Silence starves many conflicts. 2. The 5-second void. Before reacting, pause. 5 seconds. 5 seconds for emotion to settle. 5 seconds for reason to return. Then ask one question. Am I reacting for relief or for result? Relief creates mistakes. Results create power. 5 seconds can prevent years of regret. 3. Control the frame. Do not let another person's chaos become your climate. Do not let their urgency become your rhythm. Keep your tempo. Keep your axis. Keep the right to decide whether to react at all. To control the frame is not to control others. It is to refuse to let others control you. The world will never stop testing you. There will always be words, people, events, trying to pull you out of yourself. But now you know the secret. Real power does not live in reaction. It lives in self-command. The day you stop reacting automatically is the day you become difficult to control, harder to read, harder to steer, harder to manipulate. Speak when precision matters. Act when reason requires it. But stop handing your nervous system to every emotional wave. Stop reacting. Become still. Stand long enough that the world understands not every noise has the right to move you. And if these words have awakened a deeper stillness in you, then perhaps you are beginning to understand what the Stoics knew. Power begins with stillness. And perhaps we will meet again on the next road.